anyone rivals the Celtics for off-season drama and organizational dysfunction, probably the Phoenix Suns, right? They set a record in the offseason for most amount of tweets by their fan base that just sent gifs of flaming dumpster fire at them. Let's face it, like, you look up dumpster fire in the dictionary and Robert Sarver's photo will be staring right at you. The NBA suspends Phoenix Suns owner Robert Sarver 1 year after he gets accused by dozens of employees and former employees for every ism under the sun, every racial slur, every bit of sexual misconduct, every bit about, hey, how about you see my Michael Penix Jr.? And he gets the same level of suspension as Ime Udoka. Does that feel weird to anyone? Because it does. Every ism under the sun. Under the suns. Get it? And I don't know. My first thought is, shit. That's wild. That is not going to fly, though, folks, in today's day and age. Adam Silver, what you doing, baby? What you doing? I reached out to some friends like, hey, what's going on in Phoenix? You hearing anything about this Sarver suspension? How are people taking it? Had some very trusted media members, and they said, oh, and they live in Phoenix. Oh, no, this is not the end. There's not even close to the end. And yet, they said, oh, yeah, Sarver's not going to survive this. And I'm like, really? It feels like he's got this audacity to stay put. Even after Braun came out against him, even after Chris Paul came out against him, even Draymond Green, who had an amazing soliloquy about forcing the owners to take a vote. Hey, y'all, let's see where you guys are at on it. Let's take a vote. See how you guys feel about Robert Sarver continuing to be an owner of this league. But then sponsors start pulling their dollars. Then other owners of the Suns start coming forward. Then you've got the new head of the NBPA, the union, saying, I speak for all players. This man cannot stay around this league. And in a few short days, kaput. Robert Sarver capitulates, and he announces he's selling the team. Since it's PR season, here is Robert Sarver's statement, and we'll decide whether it gets any comment. As a man of faith, oh, God. Let's start again. As a man of faith, I believe in atonement and the path to forgiveness. I expected that the commissioner's 1-year suspension would provide the time for me to focus, make amends, and remove my personal controversy from the teams that I and so many fans love. Really. But in our current unforgiving climate, it's cancel culture. It has become painfully clear that that is no longer possible. That for whatever good I have done, oh, baby. Oh, you think this is like a balance sheet. Like, oh, I've done so. We'll continue. Whatever good I have done or could still do is outweighed by the things I have said in the past. For those reasons, I am beginning the process of seeking buyers for the Suns and Mercury. This is a man who seems riddled with contrition, doesn't he? He seems broken up about the whole thing. He seems ready to do the work, doesn't he? He seemed like he was ready to take the next year to really peel back the layers of why he's so racist, why he feels he can speak to women however he wants. But he's not going to do that now. He's just going to sell the team. So it's us that lose. It's us that lose because we tried to cancel Robert Sarver. And instead, he will not be canceled. He's not going to do the work. He's just going to sell the team. By the way, he's going to sell the team for like $3 billion, so he'll be fine. I'm sure he'll put all those dollars to work on himself and bettering the communities that he has harmed. This is the third team in the last 8 years, by the way, due to some sort of racial issues, have had to be sold. It's almost like there's like a problem. It's like there's a systemic thing. It feels like maybe we should start peeling back the onion, start lifting up the hood on the rest of these guys. See if anything else shakes out. See if any rats come open. If you pick up those 2x4s and see what starts scurrying out. I think it's the best thing for everyone, honestly. You cannot tell me that this investigation didn't have a cloud over the Suns. I don't care that they were the number 1 seed. They started out slow. They went out with a bang to this Dallas Mavericks. The beginning of their season had that cloud of Baxter Holmes' article looming over them and his problematic behavior of Robert Sarver. So, turns out Sarver also still reaping the benefits, or we are still reaping the benefits of him and DeAndre Ayton. Apparently, Robert Sarver is the reason that DeAndre Ayton didn't get his max deal. Remember, the Suns did everything but kick Ayton out the door, until just snatching him back by matching the extension sheet by the NBA and the Pacers. Ayton, of course, was outraged, as you might imagine. A report dropped, though, today from Mark Spears and Ramona Shelburne that said the following. I was told that it was Robert Sarver who didn't want to give him that 5th year. He wanted to save money. Oh, baby. My understanding from talking to people close to DeAndre is he thinks that this was Robert Sarver's decision as well. The whole bizarre situation surrounding the team's treatment of Ayton kind of feels like it's starting to make a little more sense now. Cheap owner, who's probably going to be forced to sell the team, doesn't want to make any big moves. So they decide, we'll just see what everybody else wants to pay him. Add this to the fact that Ayton has not, according to him, spoken to Monty Williams, the head coach, since Game 7. If you don't think that's weird, and I know people are trying to tell us this is the part of the gaslighting that exists, like, people are trying to tell us that's not weird. Oh, yeah, it's like totally normal. As soon as you end the season, we just never speak again. Not like, hey, buddy, how you holding up? How's your summer going? I don't know, like when Summer League is happening, hey, you want to grab dinner? None of that. They're trying to tell us that's not weird. That, I have to tell you, if that's normal, then the entire league is a little weird. Here's what Ayton said. You can just hear it for yourself.
I'm here. Are you happy to be here, DA? Yeah, I'm all right.
This sounds like a guy who's like, listen, I've got generational wealth coming my way. Life's not that bad. I grew up in Phoenix, but I can't stand these motherfuckers, truthfully. And I know in January, when I get to choose whether I want to be traded or not, I can ask them to get me the fuck out of here if I want to. We'll see. If Chris Paul wants to grind me down to dust between now and January, maybe I get my dip-setting ass out of here. You know what? I get that. Sometimes you work for some place and you get paid well, and you're like, they're so lucky I get paid well, because I can't stand it here. I can't stand my teammates. I can't stand my bosses. I can't stand having them on top of me all day long. Yeah, I mean, run down the full video. Look on Ayton's face. It just comes off so much worse. His body language, his facial expressions, his energy. In other words, the season could not have started worse for the Phoenix Suns. Lots of teams with talent have had their seasons go down like the Titanic due to chemistry issues and with the locker room overflowing with frustration about the Sarver situation, an unhappy big man. And now you've got Jay Crowder, the glue of this team, sitting out of training camp until he is traded because his starting role was in jeopardy. Safe to say there is a ton of murkiness about how good this Phoenix team can actually be this season, especially early on in said season. So now we have 2 playoff teams with serious dysfunction and serious ambiguity about what happens next.